What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining this live stream. It's Nick with Us versus Herd. Thanks so much for subscribing. If you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. If you want to get alerts when these videos go out, click that little bell button below. You'll get notifications. We go live every day at 3:30 p.m. Central, or we post a new video pretty much every day. In the last month, I think I missed once. But anyways, thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for watching. If you're already a member of our free options trading group, thanks so much. If you're not, the link is below. Join that. I post all my trades in there throughout the day. You know, whether I'm red or green, I post that. If you're here watching right now, leave a comment. What's up, Derek, Abel, Keith, and Jeff? Thanks for leaving a comment. Looking to get into Tilray today. Shotgun 2323, what's going on, man? Or woman? Crypto, what's going on? Crypto Slice, glad you're here. Yeah. Anyways, today was kind of crazy. Like, Dow was up to 50, S&Ps were up 20, 25, 23 here. Nasdaq was up 85. Coming off yesterday was kind of mixed, where the Nasdaq was, the Dow was up like 200. The Nasdaq was red. Yo, Brian, what's going, Derek, Manny, what up? Thanks so much for joining the stream. Couldn't do it without you guys. You know, thanks for supporting. Really means a lot to me. You know, people are joining right now. We're going to be looking at Tilray today, mainly because it's like the #1 stock people are talking about, and people are crazy. If you don't know what Tilray is, I'm guessing most people that are joining right now know what Tilray is or have been joining. It's like a Canadian company. They're able to distribute you know, weed and marijuana across the country. But anyways, as you can see, this past week it's been on an amazing run. Went from a low of 97 to a high of 300, and is currently trading at 176. And throughout all of this, you know, lives were improved, but also lives are ruined, as you can tell by the volatility today. And I was actually doing some testing today on some different brokers. I was able to get some fills on options on Thinkorswim. I'm not really trading this aggressively. I'm kind of a bystander. I didn't really get involved in this, mainly because, you know, if you look at Tilray, you know, it's kind of skewed now, like I was saying, but you know, it was just going straight up every day. It went from 20 to 300 in what, like 8 weeks, less than 8 weeks. It just had their IPO. I was warning people, like, you know, just be careful, like, you know, don't get all crazy like this. And one thing that I wanted to point out was last year, I don't know if you guys remember, before we get into Tilray, HMNY. I don't know if does anybody here that's watching this trade this. So HMNY, this price is kind of messed up because of so many reverse splits they had, and you can kind of see what happened here. But HMNY, they own the company called MoviePass, and if you're not familiar with MoviePass, it was that movie subscription service where you can go see, like, you know, unlimited movies for like $10 a month, and people were abusing it. And people were like, well, how are you going to stay in business? But people didn't care. The stock actually at the time, it went from like $3 to like $40 or $50. I knew some people that were trading at the time. I'm like, yo, you gotta either take your gains or get out. And they're like, no, I'm holding. This is like the next new thing. We're gonna be rich. And look at it now. It's not even worth. They did so many reverse splits, and it's not even worth. It's worth not even 2 cents. It's worth 1 penny. Not even a penny and a half. I mean, that's ridiculous. So, and everybody knows what happened to Bitcoin as well. So, you know, Tilray. But going back to what I was saying about Tilray and the brokers, I was actually one of the red flags was Tastyworks wouldn't let me put an options order in. They set their brokerage or platform to closing trades only on Tilray. I tried to do, you know, just a test. I wasn't actually going to get into a position, but I was testing out stock. I couldn't buy stock. I couldn't even short stock, and I couldn't put any option positions on, which really was a red flag for me, because if Tastyworks isn't allowing you to open or close a trade, I'm sure you could have back in before the volatility really kicked in here in the last couple of days. You know, I really think that they're there a bunch of people are margin called right now, and they're stopping people from trading it to protect their brokerage firm. I know Tastyworks is a newer brokerage. They came out, they launched in January 2017, but they're protecting themselves because I guarantee you a lot of people bought on margin. I think actually someone in the group was in their option trading group was talking about buying on margin. And this is the kind of thing that you got to be careful about. You don't want to buy on margin this kind of stock here, because you can see, like, you know, you can go. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. It's actually probably better here. You know, the people that bought up in. Let's get this going here. The people that bought up in here in the high 200s, 300 almost. I mean, they saw their you know, their account get cut in half, or their position get cut in half within an hour. I mean, this is just, you know, yesterday was just insane, and all the halts and all that. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Keith says this is a short squeeze. Made an early mistake selling option at 530. Easy made some mistakes. Derek says, did you guys see the Tilray drop the last 30 minutes of yesterday's market? Yeah, I mean, it was wicked. I mean, it was not right. Gold 3584, what's going on? Bought again 6 and 7. Oh, you're talking about MJ. Yeah, if you guys want to contribute to the chat, definitely want to get your input on this. You know, leave a comment. I'll definitely respond to everybody that's coming right now. I just want to you know, talk about this. So the red flags for me on this, you know, I mean, obviously going from like $20 to $300, you know, on a ridiculous valuation is one thing, but then when the brokerage firms are stopping you from trading that product. And it's in the brokerage's best. If it's in the brokerage's best interest to not allow you to trade that product, you know there's something wrong, because the idea of a brokerage is to connect you with the products that you want to trade, and they're saying no, we don't want you to do that, because they're putting their firm at risk. They don't want people buying their stock, and they also, stocks like this, I don't know what the margin requirements are. I'm sure like E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, and all the big firms raise the margin requirement for Tilray. I'm sure it's like 50-60%. I'm sure. Linda, what's going on? Derek, Bitcoin spiked during that same period from 6.1 to 6.4K. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not for Bitcoin. That's not really a spike. I guess that's kind of a normal thing for it lately. It's kind of been floating around that 6,000, 5,000 area, kind of going up a couple hundred, down a couple hundred. But yeah, that's definitely interesting. You know, so you know, the one thing that I wanted to point out for Tilray here on the options chain here is, let's go to let's tighten this up a little bit. You know, the one thing that was interesting today that I thought was, you know, it's down 37 bucks. You know, it did spike up to like 240, and it came down to 160. So to say that it can't have $100 swings in a day, I mean, you know, that's ridiculous. I mean, it had almost $100. It had a $90 swing, $80 swing here, from top to bottom of the lows of days. And we went from 158 to 244. So, you know, $90 almost $90 swing, you know, right there. But what they did here was kind of interesting to me, is it just flattened out the whole day. I mean, it didn't just keep going down. It just flattened out, which tomorrow, you got to be careful, because tomorrow is expiration for the monthlies. And what I was kind of telling people is these premiums are going to be eaten alive. I think at open I was watching these. At near open, these premiums were like, you know, for right at the money, were like 25 bucks on either side. So on a call or a put was like 25 bucks. So $2,500 for a call or a put. But as you can see here, the risk like is still super wide. I mean, we have the ask is 14 bucks. The bid is almost 12, 11. You know, a $2,000 separation here on the puts. You know, so if you guys don't know about what, you know, premium selling or selling premium and low volatility environments like this, if it just stays flat like this, it's just going to kill the premiums, stuff that's far out of the money or near the money or in the money, just right at the money. It's going to kill. It's going to kill those premiums. So if you guys aren't aware of that, you're just trading blindly. Like you got to be careful. Not put, like, you know, at open. You know, at the money was like 25 bucks. Now it's 11, and understand what theta does to it, and also low volatility. Let's see if let's see on the chart if it actually, yeah, you see how the volatility dropped here a little bit. But even a little drop in volatility, I mean, the volatility was off the charts here. Even a small drop in volatility is going to kill your premium. It's going to kill. If you're buying options, it's going to kill you. Now, if you're selling premium, you probably cleaned up today. If you were short some calls, definitely cleaned up today. And if you were, you know, if you had some puts, I guess it's hard to say if those puts made any money. It looks like here, not a ton. I mean, these made like 24. I don't know if this pricing is very accurate, just because, you know, there's a lot of volume on these options, but I mean, there's the bid and the ask is so wide here. I mean, this one went up like $4 from yesterday. The percent change is 24, but it's hard to say yesterday because the pricing was so messed up. So I don't know if you guys logged in yesterday when there was halts. When the stock was halted, you know, stuff was bid. There was no bid. Like this column right here was all zeroed out and it was all grayed out, and there was some stuff in the ask. So, you know, when you're trading that kind of thing, you use extreme caution. Like if you're trading like halts, you gotta know, don't put a market order in. You're gonna get chopped up. Let's see here. Linda said he did my first option call yesterday on Alibaba. Congrats. Alibaba is one of my favorites right now due to all the trade news. I've been making consistent returns pretty much every week on that. Gold 35.84. Do you have videos with contracts, explanations, step by step? I don't think that I do, but I'll definitely jot that down to make one in the future. Easy's not the only one. Says, what do you think about GMP and BEVs, SPY, MJ, AMD? And you really loaded it up there. I'll get to that in a second. Oliver says a quad witch. Yeah. So Friday's a witching. Shotgun 23.23. I bought an option Tilray $35 mark for 60, and it went from $1 to $1.20, and I got out at $1.05. $35 put. I mean, I guess you got pretty lucky on that. You know, a little 5% gain. Nice. There's like when the bid and ask and halts and all that, it's easy to make mistakes. So make sure you're not putting in market orders. Is anyone here putting in market orders? You need to stop doing that because you're gonna pay a lot. MU had earnings today. Let's see here. Easy says he got an MJ call for 43, and you're still down 47. Was it for this week? Maureen got a nice 175, 180, 310 credit put yesterday, but closed it this afternoon to be safe. CR put, nice. Always good to take profits off the table. You selling Nov Jai? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. You selling options on Alibaba? Those games are from calls and puts you're buying. I've actually been doing debit strangles, mainly because IV's been low. And it's been Alibaba's been exceeding expectations here. Like Alibaba was only, I think yesterday it was expected to move like $3, and today it moved $3 at close. But I actually got out this morning. I actually got lucky. You know, had a nice gap up, and I closed it out up here. I closed out everything. I closed out my Goldman Sachs position, and Alibaba was up about 230 this morning in realized profits today. So not a bad day, but I had to take those gains. And as you can see, like if I wouldn't have taken those gains on Alibaba or Goldman Sachs today, I posted those trades in our options group, by the way, so you can take a look at those if you're interested. But if I didn't take those gains, low volatility, like look, Goldman Sachs didn't move anything. Like my profits would have went to my profits would have went away. You know, I made like 180. I made like 180 on Alibaba, and then I made another 50 or $60 on GS. So, you know, the low volatility, if you're buying options, especially tomorrow's expiration, you got to be super careful. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna lose your money quick. You know, don't be greedy with the gains at that point if expiration is tomorrow. You know, let's see, I think there was AMD. I am currently trading AMD, but it looks like it's flattening out. SPY, I mean, SPY is breaking new highs, so I mean, if that's something that you like to do, I mean, the one thing that you could do is, you know, volatility is really low right now, so you could do something in there. You can buy some premium in there. You could trade some VIX. VIX is what was VIX today? VIX is 11. You know, it's going back down to 10. So you could do something there. You can do them both to kind of offset that. MJ, I didn't actually look at MJ today. I probably should have. MJ is up 4%. Pretty nice. You know, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more weed stocks coming out. So it's going to be definitely interesting how this plays out. I just bought 81 MU call before earnings. What do you think? I don't know. Let's look at MU because I was actually going to trade it, but then I decided not to because the pricing was so messed up. Yeah, this is you bought the $50 call for next week. You know, the only thing that you got to be worried about is the IV crush. You know, depending on how much you got the $50 call, I don't know. You know, but you should be in good shape. Nov J says, what study is that shows the volatility in Thinkorswim? In Thinkorswim, if you go to studies and you go to implied volatility, oops, I don't really like how they set this up. There's not a good way. It's right here, implied volatility study you can add to your charts right here. Thinkorswim studies. Go to all studies and go to I, implied volatility. Will definitely help you out. Ruben says, how many days out do you usually purchase your options? A video I saw said 17 days is usually best. You know, it really depends on the goals of the trade. Like sometimes when I'm buying options, I'll buy some, you know, if I'm looking for like a quick return or something like long term, like if I'm buying Twitter or something like that, I'll do like 60, 90, 120 days out. If I'm looking for like a quick flip like Alibaba, I mean, I'm selling stuff. I'm doing like 2-3 days expiration. There's really not a good answer. It just if you see opportunity and the option pricing is good, that's when you put the trade on. It doesn't matter what the duration is. It really depends on that and how much time you have to commit to the trade. Like if you have a day job and you're out and about, you may not want something that expires like tomorrow because you're probably not going to be able to pull the trigger. Oliver, do you use did USO at the money strangle for expiration tomorrow? Oil is a tough one. So if you guys are trading oil, you know, and also tomorrow's expiration, it's going to be tough, and it doesn't really move up. And this moved 14 cents today. I mean, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tough unless you get a big drop or something, or it goes up to like 15.50. It's going to be hard to make money. When you're buying premium on expiration, you're battling a lot of things. You're battling theta. If there's no price action, it's definitely easier to sell premium on Fridays. Easy is not the only one. Says, do you recommend Tastyworks instead of Robinhood? Yeah, I think Tastyworks for like for small accounts is definitely the best platform out there. It's $1 to open a trade, or $1 per contract to open a trade, and then there's no closing cost to close a trade. So it's about 50 cents round trip per contract that you put on, and the fills are fast. I use it alongside Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim and Tastyworks are the main platforms I use on a day-to-day basis to trade options on. Glenn, he did a put credit spread on Roku. Roku's definitely interesting. You know, definitely looking like some bullish momentum here, but definitely a good idea. Definitely, you know, I would say that IV is a little low to sell some premium, but other than that, I mean, does look like it has some uptrending motion up here, even though it is sitting at all-time highs. I mean, who would have thought that it went from $15 to almost, you know, $74 in a year? I mean, that's crazy. Alex says, how do I? Alex says, how do you pick your strike price? I pretty much just look at, so what a lot of people don't understand about options trading, it's about speculation. So when you're buying, let's say compared to like buying stock. So when you're buying a stock and just holding it, let's say I'm buying a stock, you're hoping that it goes up in the future. You're like, okay, I wanted to invest in a good company. It's going to go up in the future. Let's say Amazon's a growth stock right now. Let's say I buy a share of that. But when you're trading options, it's about speculation, and that's why I think options trading is harder. But if you master it, I mean, you're going to be making consistent returns and everything like that. But let's look at, let's see here. Let's go to the monthlies on Alibaba. So, how do I pick my strike price for Alibaba is really, if you look here, like the expected moves are like $2.55, $6.26 for next week. So the expected move, so the options are pricing in an expected move. So let's say you buy something like right at the money, and the expected move is $2 and it only moves $1, you're gonna lose money on that. So when you're buying premium, you always want it to go beyond the expected move on here. So I look for good deals in terms of the pricing that I get towards. And when you're trading options, it's about speculation. Like a couple months ago, I did a video on Netflix. I made 300% returns in like 30 minutes. So I made 300% return. When was it? It was on the earnings day. So the day I didn't trade earnings, but it went down. And you see this big green candle here, and it just went up and up and up and up and up. And basically, I had calls at 400, and because it was going up so much, I paid $1 for them, and I sold them for like $4. So I paid $1 for them, I sold them for like $4. Look, it never even hit 400. And at the end of the day, the Netflix went flat. It really deflated that. So why were the options up here so expensive? Why did I buy them for $1 and sell them at $4? Is because it was pure speculation. So you have to understand how speculation works when people are trading. Like, it never hit 400, but at the rate that it was moving, it could have. So always use momentum when trading options. Using momentum in your favor to put on trades or take off trades. What's your prediction? No says, what's your prediction for Tilray tomorrow? I really thought today was very interesting price action here, just really flat at the end of the day, so it could really go anywhere. And look, after hours, nothing happening. What I would be concerned about, since we had a couple down days here, well, we just had a one down day. Yesterday was considered an up day, even though we had a violent crash. So yesterday actually closed, I think it closed green like what, 30-40% up. Today we closed down 17%. So, it's holding its gains from where it opened yesterday. Well, not really, but around there. It doesn't look too bad on here. The one thing that I would be concerned about is like news after hours. Like, no one wants to hold this after hours because a small company like this may be looking to get cash in on this. Like, converting shares into cash and stuff like that, having an offering, and then the people are going to be pissed, and this is going to crash down to like 100. So you got to be careful. So tomorrow, to kind of better answer your question, I really think it can go either way. The one thing that I would be concerned about, like I was telling earlier, people, tomorrow is the expiration for monthly expiration for these contracts, and nothing makes people happier, market makers happier, when all these expire to zero. So they're selling all this premium to you, and these were super fat. Like I said, these already even got like cut in half today. The premiums got cut in half, basically, throughout the day. But I mean, like this, if it stays flat tomorrow, all this money goes in the market maker's pocket. It goes in their pocket, and you guys lose. Is how that works. So, understand, where your risks are at when trading that. Shotgun says, you're doing some good work. We'll definitely tune in, much more appreciated. I never really thought this many people would join it. We're coming up on like 3,000 subscribers, which is pretty crazy. I know that's not like huge compared to some other channels that are on here, or the thing is, there's not a lot of options channels. So when I first started, definitely appreciate everyone that's tuning in right now. When I first was doing live streams, there was like nobody. Now we have like 30 people on here, which is mind blowing. Joe, there are two relatively lower targets on Tilray. One is 140, the next is 100. You mentioned you wouldn't think of buying it less than 140. That will cut your risk. Yeah, I mean when you're trading this, I mean right. I have a trade on Tilray at the $80 strike, mainly because that's what I wanted to risk. I didn't want to trade any. Like I bought these actually for my average cost right now, 17 cents on these right here. The last price someone paid for was like 15 cents. So, we're down a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about it. If this was a risk I was willing to make. It wasn't really a serious play, but if this does crash hard, I mean, it's gonna go quick, as people saw. I mean, went flush from 300 to 150 yesterday. I mean, $150 drop. I mean, that's why I put the trade on. If it was like this yesterday, like say it dropped and didn't do a whole lot, if it was like this kind of chart, I probably wouldn't have put a trade on. But I was like, well, if it crashed from 300 to 150, I mean, it could go to 100 or 90. And the way that premiums were so rich, I didn't have to, since it was, like I was saying before, like speculation, I don't need it to get all the way to 80 to make money. It could have dropped to 125 or 100. I probably could have made a couple $100 on that. I'm currently holding 5 contracts, so my risk is like $90 or something like that. So I'm not actively trading this. I didn't trade it on the way up. I'm not really trading it on the way down, just because I compared it to HMNY a couple days ago, a couple minutes ago. Joe says, as long as you don't BS people, you'll do fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm just a regular guy trading options, just like you guys. Ice Cooler, I made the tail end of the stream. What's going on, Ice Cooler? Welcome. Jacob, what's the best way for beginners to get a better understanding of options? The one thing that people put their own money at risk, like paper trade. And you can actually use Thinkorswim's platform, paper trading. Let me actually get this pulled up for you. Thinkorswim. It's called Paper Money, I guess. And you can register for this. I don't get paid off of Thinkorswim or anything, by the way, guys. I just, it's just a good thing. So you can register for paper money on Thinkorswim, and you can use their full platform to paper trade on this. Too many times I see people put their own money at risk and not know what they're doing, and then their account goes to zero. It's very easy to go to zero. Anybody that's traded options here knows that. Kind of going over the risk I kind of said today on TLRY, could kind of see why that would be the case. Joe says, I was watching the option pricing today. Those are all sucker bets. How long do you have to get to? No, 80. No, it's a speculative play for me. Small trade. It's expiring tomorrow. Not a serious trade. I just put it on just to have a little something on if it does get cut down. If it works out, great, but I'm not really too worried about it. I don't really lotto play, and I don't really trade stocks like this. It's really hard for me to sell premium here too, due to the volatility. So, I actually did a video yesterday talking about win rate and improving your win rate. And trading Tilray would not improve my win rate at all. So I don't trade it. So I try to have more profitable trades than guessing trades. Oh, look at that. Looks like MU is having some issues here. must be a rough conference call. So Beast Key says generally would you say it's best to buy, for example, the day after options just expired and sell the day before they expire? Someone asked me this earlier. It was like, why did you take the trades off? So Baba and GS I had earlier, why did I take the trades off the day before expiration? So both these expire tomorrow. And the answer for that is, I take it off when I meet my profit targets or I meet my exit goals. So, a lot of people trade like, hey, I can always make more. And that's one of the things with like Tilray is like, oh, there's a lot of greed in here right now. People can say, oh, I can always make more. Like there's a lot of people that are saying on Tilray, posting, I made $5,000, I made $15,000, I made 300%. and stuff like that. But what these people do, most of those people will most likely be ending up losing all those gains, because what they do is they get cocky and they say, okay, well, if I made $15,000 on Tilray, I'm going to put that in there, and that's when this kind of issue gets up here, and then those people start to bail, and then they lose their gains. You know, that's not trading. If you don't have a profit target and you keep putting the money in the market, you're gambling and you're rolling those. You know, people that traded Tilray, yeah, sure, they made a lot of money, but I'm sure a lot of those people are not very good traders, and they're going to lose all those gains. If not on this, they're going to be losing those in the near future on other stocks as well. So. Beast Key, to kind of answer your question, there's not really a good day to buy or sell. It all depends on the pricing that you get, your entry goals, your exit goals, and how you feel about the trade. You know, I mean, you have to keep in mind, I mean, obviously holding something to expiration, if you're buying premium, holding something to all the way to expiration is usually a bad idea, because theta is going to eat away at your trade. Joe says, well, options accelerate gains quickly if you nail the initial drop. That's what I try to do. I will be short DIA tomorrow for 1 week if VIX trades sub 11. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that also, you know, leaving profits on the table is okay too. It's better to be getting out with a profit than it is to get out with a loss. Nov J says, Thinkorswim is good for paper trading. You can call them and they will give you a real time instead of a 20-minute delay. Yep, do that. Also, I got TD. So if you start using TD Ameritrade, I know it's kind of expensive. It's like $6.95 per trade and then 75 cents per contract. But once you start trading on there, let them know, like, hey, tell them, I'll actually probably do a video on this and getting lower commissions. Say, hey, I'm going to switch to Tastyworks for $1 a commission. They actually lowered my commissions from $1 from I think I don't remember what I was paying before, but they right now I'm paying $1 per contract for opening and closing a position on here. It's a good platform. Last year I spent some like $12,000 on commissions, and then you know, Tastyworks came out and I was able to lower those commissions. So, you know, you use leverage. What else here? Joe says that's what he figured. It had to be a very short-term trade. Okay, that's good. So yeah, I think I answered your guys' question. We're coming up on 30 minutes here. Anyone have any trades looking for entry tomorrow? For me personally, I already have an AMD trade on, and I have Twitter as well. I'm pretty much going to take it easy tomorrow. I'm going to be away from my desk in the morning. I'm going to be returning later, so I'm not going to be too active. So this stream's coming up on 30 minutes. Definitely appreciate everyone that was on the stream, everyone that was rocking with me. You know, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we actually have the family chat where we kind of just hang out, talk stocks, and, you know, go over what was great this week, what we did wrong, things that we did well, and kind of just get pretty much what I wanted to accomplish with the UVH family chat is trying to get to know every one of you and get to know you guys that are supporting this channel. So I definitely appreciate everyone here. So you guys have a great rest of your day.